Having a good travel partner can make or break your adventure. What's up, everyone? I'm Rachelle, and welcome to Adventure is Never Far Away. It's possible to have a life full of adventures. Subscribe and come along as I show you that adventure is never far away. The first time you travel with friends or family, or anyone new for that matter, you're taking a gamble. You don't know whether or not they're going to turn out to be the best travel partner ever, or turn out to be that person that you no longer talk to. You just have no idea. I've traveled all over the world, and I've had some pretty amazing travel partners, and I've had some not so good ones as well. So question, why is it so important to have a good travel partner? When you travel, whether it's on a road trip, airplane, train, bus, boat, you're going to be spending a lot of time with your travel partner. So you want to make sure that you travel with someone that you enjoy, someone you laugh with, you can talk to, someone you can reach out to after the fact and relive some of those memories you made and tag each other in social media posts. Let's talk about why it can be difficult to find a good one. When people are in their element, they're relaxed, they're calm, predictable. They know how things are supposed to go. They have a place of comfort, whether it's at home or at work, and they're surrounded by friends, family, and the familiar, which is key. As soon as most people step out of their comfort zone into a new environment, everything gets thrown out the window. Everyone reacts differently, for better or worse. Your best friend at home might be your worst travel companion. Your sibling can become the epitome of the worst travel companion because they know how to push your buttons. The crew becomes disbanded because not everybody had the same expectations for your trip. I've been there, done that, moved on. Bottom line, finding a good travel partner is difficult because people react differently. And unfortunately, most people aren't aware of this until it's too late. But there's hope to finding a good travel partner. You might just have to sift through a few not so good ones first. However, finding a good travel partner is totally worth it. But don't forget that half the battle of finding a good travel partner is making sure that you are the best travel partner that you can be. Now let's get into it. Here are 5 things to consider when looking for a good travel partner. Number 1, common ground with activities and style is crucial. When you're planning a trip with someone, you need to make sure that you have similar interests. You don't have to like exactly the same thing, but there's nothing worse than trying to travel with someone who likes everything that you dislike. And it's not that you want to have to do everything together, but find someone that likes the same types of activities that you do. So for example, if you like to do extreme activities, it might not be wise to travel with someone who only wants to hang out by the pool all day. I once traveled with someone who spent hours and hours and hours in museums. Not for me. I was in New York City and there's so many other things that I wanted to do rather than be in a museum. Another thing to consider is your travel style. And to be honest, this is one of the hardest things to figure out beforehand. If you already know your travel style, you're so far ahead of the game. So I don't mean necessarily what you're wearing or how you're acting, but how you like to spend your time. Do you like to go, 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 go when you travel and not take a break? Or do you prefer to travel a little bit slower and spending a good chunk of time at each activity? Do you like to have a full day of straight tours and another day of just picture taking? Finding someone who will move at your pace is crucial. You don't want to feel like you're pulling someone along or being the dead weight to your travel partner. Number 2, find someone who will communicate. When you travel with someone, you're in a brief relationship with that person. You rely on each other, you share experiences, and you spend a lot of time together. Relationships can only thrive when there's effective communication between the parties. So ask yourself, do you enjoy this person? Can you carry on a conversation about difficult or tricky situations? Number 3, look for someone who will openly discuss money. Money is a hot topic, and for good reason. The amount that you want to spend will dictate what you eat, where you sleep, and what type of activities you'll do. Hotel, hostel, street food, restaurant, rideshare, local transportation. Being transparent about expenses up front is a great way to figure out if you're going to be able to work together. Are you a penny pincher, or are you a spare no expense, I'm going to build Jurassic Park kind of person? You want to have the same budget. Side note, be upfront about how expenses are going to be paid. Traveling with someone who wants you to pay for everything and then reimburse you after the fact is a major red flag. And I'll talk more about money and travel in another video, but make sure your partner has a similar budget. Number 4.1. Set boundaries. I'm independent and I start to feel smothered if I'm with someone 24/7. So when I travel with a partner, I need to have someone that's not going to get offended when I tell them I want to go do something by myself for a little bit. I make sure to set those boundaries ahead of time, and I let them know that it's not them, it's just for me and my own sanity. If they're not okay with that, then maybe they're not the best travel partner for me at that time. Or vice versa, if you're the type of person that needs to be with someone all the time, make sure that your travel partner understands your boundaries. Number 4.2, set expectations. How are you going to divide up your decisions? How are you going to plan your days? Are you going to work on an itinerary together, or divide up who makes which decisions beforehand? For example, I'll take care of dinner, you take care of breakfast and lunch. You be the designated driver, I will always navigate for you. I once went on a trip with a group of friends and none of them ever made a decision. We would drive around at dinner time, asking each other where we wanted to eat, and everybody would always say, I'm good with anything. I ended up having to make all the decisions that trip, and I learned a very valuable lesson. Pick someone that's okay with setting expectations beforehand. And lastly, number 5, practice. While there's no such thing as a perfect travel partner, you can always find a good one. Sometimes you'll crash and burn. You might think you found a good travel partner, only to realize too little too late that they're not the right one. Mark Twain once said, I have found out there ain't no surer way to find out whether you like people or hate them than to travel with them. You can do all the planning in the world, prepare everything you need, have all the difficult necessary conversations, and still manage to pick the wrong travel partner. It'll happen to everyone eventually. Don't give up. The right travel partner is out there. But you have to remember that the only person you can control is yourself. And you might have to wade through a few not so good travel partners until you find the good one. Set yourself up for success rather than failure. Give yourself a test run. Go on a weekend getaway and see how you do. Try a shorter road trip. Audition each other to see how you do. Okay, so those are my top 5 suggestions for finding a good travel partner. And of course, there are so many good suggestions out there, but based on my experience, these ones have come in clutch for having a really good experience. Do you have any other suggestions that have worked for you? Comment down below, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Subscribe, and I'll see you on our next adventure.